Hello all, my name is Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, also known as the Chatty Pen Pal channel, and today we're going to make a green themed meal. My friend Brittany made a meal entirely in blue and she challenged me to do the same but with green, and naturally I had to accept that challenge because green as well as blue is one of my favorite colors and I happen to have a lot of green. So the first thing I did was take a shoebox and fill it with green goodies, because normally I like to take things out of my drawers as I go, but that can very easily distract me and take me out of my creative flow, because let's be honest, I have way too much stuff and going through all of it kind of takes me out of the creative mindset, if that makes sense. So I decided to make a dedicated shoebox and what I'm doing now is I'm flipping through a very old flow book for paper lovers. I know I'm going to get questions about it, but I think this is either the first or the second flow magazine book for paper lovers ever made. So I don't know if that helps you find it, but I think it's sold out because it's like 5 or 6 years old. But anyway, that page, the green striped page, normally you can very easily tear pages from the book for paper lovers, but that's actually a chapter cover page basically, so that's why I had to cut it out, and I'm actually going to use that as basis for my meal. I did have an idea for this meal when I started it, but to be honest, the outcome is so different from what I had in mind. I could have started without an idea, probably. So what I'm going to do first is, since it's a cover page, it has that not very pretty grey, not green, grey image on the back, and I decided to cover that up with different papers. All of them are from the Flow book for paper lovers. Yeah, obviously we have the houseplant print one, and then we have the one, you cannot really see it here, but it has a really light grid on it, and it's actually the back of a color in poster. So I didn't like the poster, I did like the back of the page, so I decided to use that for decorating instead. I'm just going to cover up the image with a double-sided tape. So for today's video, I have a lot of things I want to tell you because I haven't done like a real-time chatting voiceover in a while, but I also have a lot that I need to explain for this meal, because when I filmed this, when I started editing it, it's actually 3 hours long, so you're now watching a 25-minute video, but the crafty process took me over 3 hours, so I sped up a lot, which also means that I need to do probably a lot of explaining in between, but we'll see, we'll manage. I also got the request to explain or to kind of show the goodies that I include a little bit more, because I know sometimes I speed through that. So today I'm also going to take you through some of the goodies I have sent, and you can send in pen pal letters. Usually I kind of speed through that because I was afraid people wouldn't care as much, but apparently you do, so I'm going to take you through that as well. And because I stuck down the pages like against the fold of the page, you can very clearly see the overlapping piece of paper, which I didn't like. So the first thing I do now is cover up that fold line with some washi tape, and before sticking down the washi tape I put down some tacky glue, because it's AliExpress washi tape and it's not that sticky. One of my favorite things about this theme is that I also get to find some matching letter writing paper. As you can see, I have a huge pile, and that's not even all of letter writing paper. The pile on the right is all of my La Papier stationery. I do unboxings for that every month, but I end up going with a beautiful letter writing paper that I received in mail. It's a green green framed letter writing paper with a little mailbox, and I thought it was very pretty. So it's not 100% green, but it's definitely green and it's cute. And then I used those Arteza fine liners jelly rolls. I don't know to write hello you, because when I made this meal I didn't know yet who this was going to. This is weird and off camera, but what I did is I was drinking tea, and then I saw the tea bag while I was working on this green themed meal, which was also green, and I decided that I wanted to use the tea bag to include some goodies, but it still had like dust inside from the tea bag, so I actually cleaned it with a cleaning wipe. So that's all I was doing. As I said, a lot to explain, so not a lot of music breaks, but I used a strip of paper to create a belly band that will later hold the letter. But it looks weird because it's drying now. And the folder you just saw was my folder of magazine clip-outs, so I'm going to use some magazine clip-outs. And then in between filming I received a gorgeous mail that had a pretty green stamp, which I obviously had to include somewhere as well. So as you can see, when I started I had no idea, but once you start looking for goodies that match a certain theme, you find so many things you can include. I had all of these things in the shoebox, but then along the way I kept finding more things that I didn't include, such as that beautiful stamp and a tea bag and some magazine clip outs. So I hope that gives you some inspiration as to what you can use. This is me tearing the tea bag, making it smaller because I wanted to put it on the outside page, but I did not want it to peek out from underneath the flap, if that makes sense. You will see what I mean in not too long from now, but in the end the decorations do show, but I don't mind. I tried to hide the tea bag, but it also looks kind of cute when you open the mail and you get a little bit of a sneak peek of the next page already. So yeah, very fast as I said, but this is 3 hours of crafting that I had to fit into a somewhat shorter video. What I'm doing here is goodies alert. It's washi tape stickers. I got them off of AliExpress and I have a whole bunch of them. So the first tea bag, goodie bag, is filled with washi tape stickers. And now it's time for some decorating. A doily that I end up using is from Staedtler, which is the shop we have here. And then these little doodles that you see with the houseplants is from Dille and Camille, which is another Dutch shop. They actually have these little postcards that you can take for free with little houseplant tips. And I got this one from my pen pal and I decided to cut out the little houseplants. So there's that. Interesting story. I was gonna tell you something else. Oh yeah, this one hasn't been received yet, so it could very well be that someone who's watching this right now is going to find this in their mailbox sometime soon. But the thing is, I got the challenge from Brittany and I was super excited to get started with it, so I did that fairly quickly, but then it still took me about a month before I actually finished writing that letter, so that is why it took a while for me to actually upload. But we are here now, and that is all that matters. Oh yeah, by the way, you just saw me pull little things from a blue, green, what is the color, little box, which is another dedicated box I have. In that, I have a lot of pretty things that I have received in mail. Obviously, I have so many places where I keep all of the goodies you guys send me, so the stickers go with the stickers, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. But I have a dedicated box with things that I really want to use, and I have to admit it doesn't really work because I keep forgetting to look in the dedicated box, but I'm hoping to use that a little bit more often. So every time you see a blue box, it's goodies I have received in mail. Yay! Oh, I'm fairly certain that said like washi tape stickers with an arrow, and then I'm doodling some flowers, and here I'm writing read me with a little envelope because I had a little bit of space left on the left and I didn't really know how to fill it, but I find that sometimes a little bit of writing can be quite nice. So I'm trying to experiment with that. Now, this is the front page, and now you can see what I was talking about. You can sneak peek, you can see some of the second page from underneath the flap, but I actually don't mind it because it's cute and it gives you a little bit of a sneak peek from what is coming. So that is what I was trying to avoid, but in the end, I don't know, I kind of go with it and I kind of like it. These are all of my letter and word stickers. Yes, I have an insane amount because they make me happy. And this is a sheet of letter stickers also from the Flow book for paper lovers. If I'm not mistaken, this is from the last Flow book for paper lovers, but I'm not 100% sure. It's either from the one from 2019 or from 2018. Hope that helps. Last thing is that little polka dot plant is a Flow magazine cutout. I'm not sponsored by Flow magazine. Gosh, that would be amazing. I would definitely be a sponsor from Flow magazine. I mean, be a representative, but no, I simply use their magazines and their books because they're very pretty. They have really nice illustrations. And obviously I wrote hey you, and now I'm doing a doodly border inspired by my friend Akira to kind of finish off the page. This is obviously going to be a pocket, and if you decide to recreate this meal, I have to say that this pocket is a bit of a challenge because you want it to be wide enough to fit some goodies, but you don't want it to be too wide so that all of your goodies fall out. So what I ended up doing is I just continued adding goodies until they weren't moving around anymore. And the reason why I'm covering up the bottom of the pocket, the fold line basically, with washi tape is because this, you cannot see it on camera, but this paper actually has some sort of glitter on it, like an extra layer, and that layer cracks when you fold the paper. So instead of seeing a pretty print, you see like an ugly cracked white border. So that is why I covered it up with some washi tape. And now I'm just gluing it down. I always use tacky glue for that because I find double-sided tape very often just lets loose. So I like using tacky glue. The only thing is obviously you have to wait for it to dry, but that is what clothespins are for. You don't have to hold it. You can just put on the clothespins and continue crafting. This is one of the goodies that was in the blue box. A little while ago I received a green themed mail from Tasha, so obviously I wanted to use some of the things she sent me. And one of the things were these paint sample paint cards. I don't know, like the ones you get in Home Depot, and I thought it was kind of cute, so I decided to turn it into a washi tape sample with, you guessed it, green washi tapes. In the end, you can barely see the washi tape. I mean the paper anymore, but it's a little detail that counts. And what you'll see now when I stick it in the pocket is that indeed the pocket is way too wide, and this is going to fall out when you close the mail. So a simple solution is just put in enough goodies so that it doesn't fall out anymore. Also received in mail are these incredibly pretty, I don't remember if I received them from Tasha as well or from someone else, but incredibly pretty washi tape stickers from little monstera leaves and leaves in general. So I use those for decorating the top half of the page. It's time for goodies again. This is going a bit fast, but those green leaves you just saw, those green pages are actually washi tape stickers, square washi tape stickers, and I'm simply holding them together with a green star-shaped paper clip, which is a little bit hard to see, but if you look closely you can see it on the edge of the corner there. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a bunch of green wax seals for this person. The receiver, I'm not going to say your name, it's on its way. I hope it receives. It arrives soon, but for this person to use in mail. And I am aware that this goes very fast, and I know that many of you like watching wax seal making a little bit slower, but this video would really last hours if I would leave that in real time. So if you do want to see a wax seal making a little bit more slowly, there's a couple of videos dedicated to it on my channel, so go check those out if you like. I'm only showing this kind of to show the different color combinations I make. I mix a couple different colors together, such as green, and gold, but also green and white, so that you get a lighter green, etc, etc. And then I'm sticking them in that little pocket, but I think I end up actually using another one, because that pocket is, do I use another one? I think so. I don't know, but that pocket is baking parchment. It's made out of baking parchment, which means that I cannot actually stick anything down on top of it, so it's a little bit hard to use, but it looks cute. And I know that I said at the beginning of this, yeah, that's the pocket I end up using. I remember now, the one with the green dots. I know that I said that I would talk with you about real life and everything, but a part of me wants to explain to you everything that is going on, and a part of me is like kind of wanting to prefer to see how it goes first before making a big fuss out of it, and then realizing it's not a big deal after all, nothing bad is happening. But as you know, I'm back at work. I work as a waitress, for those of you who do not know, and all restaurants were closed for 2.5 months, and 2 weeks ago we were allowed to open again, and that has actually been going, fingers crossed, pretty okay. In the background I used grit washi and then that pretty stamp to decorate the page, but it has been going pretty okay, and I'm almost scared to talk about that because I don't want to jinx it, and because I know that one good day very often doesn't mean all good days, because, you know, ups and downs, and one good day could turn into a bad day very soon. But I don't know, I'm starting to get a little bit hopeful, because before I got back to work I was super worried with my anxiety and with everything, my fear of failure, and I've learned so much in therapy the last few years, and I was afraid, in the background, I'm sorry, I'm trying to juggle between story and video, but in the background I am cutting up a bunch of green stamps to go in a little goodie bag. But I learned so much in therapy, and I've been doing, well, not 100% okay, but I've been doing so much better lately with everything that I've learned. And being at home for nearly 3 months, I was very afraid of all of that progress being lost, having to start over, getting my anxiety back, or at least partially. But knock on wood, so far so good. Yes, there is a lot of anxiety, because like the first days back felt like the first days at a new job, you know, everything is different and you're kind of stressed and self-conscious, and there's a lot of rules that we have to work with. But like once you kind of know the new rules, everything starts to feel somewhat normal again. I mean, we're the same, colleagues are the same, guests are kind of the same. So I'm always afraid of talking about it, because I feel that once I say that I'm doing okay, I'm not allowed to say that I'm not doing okay anymore. Like, oh, but like if I would say, oh, oops, I'm very anxious, people would say, oh, but Vivian, last week you were fine. But obviously it doesn't work like that. I mean, anxiety comes and goes. It goes in phases, it has ups and downs, and that is okay too, I guess. So that's why I've been hesitant to talk about it, almost because I was afraid of jinxing it. I don't know, I'm not usually that that superstitious. But let me explain what I've been doing in the meantime. I picked out some more goodies. I picked from another shoebox. I have a thing for storing things in shoeboxes, okay? Some vintage ephemera such as tickets that were green. Surprise, surprise. And I added that to the pocket as well. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to somehow close this flip book with a ribbon. And some of you may remember this, but I used to have an Etsy store for like a day and a half where I would sell hair ties, elastic hair ties, and I don't do that anymore because not a lot of people were buying them, which is totally fine, but I also didn't find it as fun as I thought I would, and I also don't really need it anymore because I started the Etsy store because I felt like I needed to do something else besides therapy. But now I have a lot of elastics left and I feel that I forget about them too often, so I thought, hey, I'm gonna use it for this meal. So I used elastics, but obviously you can't really make a pretty bow out of it, so I decided to use a button and actually stitch on a button. So one side has the button stitched on it and the other side has a tiny hole in it so that you can actually close it, you know, like you would close pants or something, like actually use the button the way a button is supposed to be used. But you could also very easily slide it off, obviously, whichever way it works for you. So, and then the idea is obviously that this hair tie, this elastic is used to close the flip book, but it could also be used as a bookmark or as a pen loop, or, you know, the receiver can reuse this any way she likes. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you liked this challenge. Thank you to Brittany for giving me this challenge, and I'm going to pass it on to another YouTube creator, which is Kira. Kira, you're next. I already talked to you about this, but you're going to work with the color purple. I can't wait to see what you're making. And yeah, if you guys want to try this challenge as well with either green, blue, purple, or whichever is your favorite color, feel free to do so. I would love to see the results if you use the hashtag ThePaperLetterBlog on Instagram. Now, I'm going to leave you with my thank you to my patrons, and I will see you again very soon. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye!